and by the financial support of viewers like you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Valparaiso University football. Along with head coach Tom Horne, this is Todd Eichow. Today we take a look back at Saturday's season opener, the come-from-behind victory over St. Xavier. And we'll welcome in the standout offensive guard, the returning all-conference performer, junior Evan Fitzgerald. And we'll preview Saturday's upcoming ball game. It's the home opener against Wisconsin Whitewater. First, though, we visit with the coach, Tom Horne, to talk about what took place Saturday in the Windy City. And, Coach, a strange ball game to say the least. I guess you're happy to get back in town with a victory.
Well, we're 1-0. We played one, and that's all that counts in the standings. Hopefully our team learned some great lessons in that game. It's a good day to learn a lesson because you win the ball game and still learn some things. They learned that you can't take anybody lightly, that the fundamentals and techniques, all the little bitty things that we harp upon all the time are very, very important, that make big things happen for the other team. And probably a positive thing is that we learned we can come back from a 22-point deficit in a quarter.
One quarter, down 22-0, almost incomprehensible, I think. I think it was just shocking to just about everybody. Coach, how do you explain what took place? Was it you said taking them lightly? Was that the bottom line?
That was the bottom line. They didn't come to play. And really, I'm concerned because the last 2 or 3 ball games, we haven't started the ball game well. Kentucky Wesleyan, Aurora, and St. Xavier. And if I'm the Whitewater coach, I'm looking at those 3 tapes and going, hey, we have to jump on them on the first quarter because these guys don't come to play right away.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. We'll see it was a rough first quarter for the Crusaders. Now, the defense gave St. Xavier some problems on the first drive, but they converted a lot of third down. In fact, 3 third downs, Coach, and a 4th down on that first drive they converted.
Yeah, right here you're seeing a couple really good defensive plays in the first series. There was probably more plays that weren't as good as this that the people aren't seeing, but they'll see the touchdown at the end here by St. Xavier.
Seemed like Chris Helton had a big ball game. We see him on the first 2 plays, got help right there from John Herring.
I think a great job in his first starting assignment at VU, replacing Tom Cunningham.
They were able to move it down, converted a lot of third downs, and on a 2nd and 9, we've already gone through about 7.5 minutes in the opening quarter. Bulio, their quarterback, he was game. I thought. He gave a great effort here. We see him scrambling for a touchdown.
Yeah, we were losing contain in the first quarter, not keeping him inside the pocket.
They jump right on you, going for 2, and that's Phil Thomas on the receiving end, getting to the corner, and all of a sudden it's 8-0.
Yeah, Josh Burning was right there, but wasn't able to swat the ball away.
We see a pass to Michael Tolbert. This is the first Crusader play of the day offensively.
We finally got the football in our hands and moved it very well.
2nd and 7. This was maybe your most successful play of the day, was the toss sweep to Ozzie Young.
Yeah, it's a good play for us, especially against our defense. Their defensive end is inside a tight end, so it gives you an automatic corner to run around.
Nick Browder ran with the ball well. We see him on the option keep here, picking up 6. That was on the next play. 3rd and 2, and here's a play which actually hurts you. It looks like a touchdown to Darrell Jackson, but an offensive holding will bring this play back. Watch the nice throw by Nick on the money. Darrell Jackson, nice catch. Looks like a touchdown, right? But there's a flag way back down around the line of scrimmage, Coach.
And then the next play, or 2 plays later, we snap it over the punter's head and they get good field position on us.
Yeah, it seemed like in that first quarter the old snowball effect was in play.
Yeah, and they came to play. They played very hard against us.
2 plays later, Bulio goes up top. You get beat deep, a perfect pass. Thomas on the receiving end for a touchdown.
You know, a 3 deep coverage is something you shouldn't get beat deep on, and the free safety just bid up a little bit on something else and left the middle of the field wide open.
And then another 2-pointer. So very quickly in this ball game, it's 16-0 in favor of St. X, and then it continues to get worse here, Coach. On the pitch, Ozzie unable to handle it. The Crusaders turn it over.
After an 8-yard game, we fumbled the ball away on the option play, which was another play they had trouble containing all day long.
And then Bulio up top, Sadowski, a couple of good receivers, Sadowski and Thomas, able to get open in that first quarter.
Right, we're letting receivers release in man coverage to the inside of the field, and when you do that, those things happen there. You get touchdowns.
Maybe the play which helped turn it around, though, for you. They go for 2 again, Josh Burning's intercept, and that's where maybe the momentum started to turn. 22-0 the score, and then the Crusaders put together a real nice drive with Ozzie Young on the toss.
Got to commend our offensive tackles. They were pulling and leading the play all day long. Did a great job for us.
Nice block by Kevin McHale. We're going to see a good block by Mark Elijah right there. And Nate Bobeck, the fullback, blocked well for you, it seemed like.
Outstanding. Nate graded out 91%. Outstanding game for Nate, blocking and running.
Early second quarter, excellent blocking here. And Ozzie Young takes it for the touchdown. Massett downfield. Dave Massett downfield, a nice block in that play.
Dave Massett, number 14 there, was a flanker. He runs the plays in with Mike Tolbert.
How about the freshman kicker?
Did a nice job. Did a nice job. Missed a field goal, but went over the upright, so it was pretty close.
So 22-7, then you put a lot of pressure on the quarterback from here on out. Seemed to get a lot of pressure on him in the final 3 quarters of the game. Saul Shahid got that sack, and then on the next play, because of the pressure, forces the intercept. Andre Murphy on the pick. Matt Culp the pressure.
Outstanding pick by Murphy. Came in there and just played his man perfectly, and that's what happens when you do things right.
Fortunately, offense couldn't move it, but that put the defense back on the field, and Matt Murphy got his first Crusader sack. The Crusaders take over, and there's the option to Ozzie. Pickup of 13, good downfield blocking by Scotty Heinrichs.
Absolutely, and Daryl Jackson's right there too.
Darren Rodriguez got in the ball game. He gave Ozzie a rest. Same play which had been run successfully, I should say,
yeah,
the toss.
Darren picks up 13 yards for us and gets us in a 3rd and 1 situation.
On the option, look at Nick with the fake, and then he pitches. And Ozzie's down the sidelines. Another nice block by Scott Heinrichs downfield.
Absolutely, and that's just 2-on-1 fast break basketball there. Nick sees Ozzie has a layup, so he gives him the ball.
Freshman from Zion, Illinois, knocks the PAT through, and you're back in the ball game.
At 22-14, and we're hoping to get the ball back here again so we can get within 1 at halftime.
Team was really fired up at this point. We'll see Matt Barker, who's done such a nice job last couple years on special teams. A big hit there.
Outstanding job, Matt. He's works extremely hard and knows that's his big contribution to the team is special teams.
Just a couple plays later, the missed snap. Chris Helton's on it, and the Crusaders knocking on the door again.
Yeah, they just let the ball lie on the ground there. I couldn't believe it.
Here's the toss to Oz, and all of a sudden 3 second-quarter touchdowns for Ozzie Young. And you decided to go for 1 here, instead of trying for the tie. Still early in the ball game. What was?
Just keep putting points on the board.
Okay.
That's.
You knew a lot more points would be scored.
That's what I thought.
And you were correct. So it's 22-21. They threaten them. Xavier gets the screen out here to Coddington, picks up 17. About 2 minutes to go here, so still time for them. But then the big sack by Josh Birding really killed the drive.
And good pressure, or good coverage downfield. This is definitely a coverage sack, as he had plenty of time to throw the football.
So they had been driving. It was actually 2nd and 3. 4th and 9, and good pressure by Eric Miller forces an incomplete pass. And you just run it out, and there we are at half. Suddenly it's a ball game. A tale of 2 quarters, I guess, huh?
Yeah, they scored 3 in the first. We scored 3 in the second. I went over and talked to some of the offensive guys. I said, we're down 22-0, and how many points did we plan on scoring in the game today? And most of the guys said, well, at least 40. I said, well, then let's go get them. And then Mike Tolbert said, yep, let's go. We got work to do. Let's go. And we went and got them.
Yeah, he dominated them in the second half, and we'll see that from the highlights. Crusaders took the momentum into the locker room, continued in the second half, and would win going away. We'll take a look at those second half highlights when we come back after this on Valparaiso University football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following.
Coach, you go into the second half with, I guess, momentum on your side. Did you feel that way as the start of the third quarter began?
Yeah, I just felt that there wasn't anything that we could do other than stop ourselves. We didn't feel the same as Xavier could stop us.
Offensively, obviously.
Offensively.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of getting out there and getting the ball. We knew we had the second half kickoff return on and we'd get the ball first,
right.
Start the half. So we felt very confident.
All right, let's take a look at those second half highlights now. We'll see the Crusaders able to move the ball in that opening drive of the second half before it would eventually stall. The first play, though, something you noticed at halftime, maybe they were playing off Scott Heinrichs, simple out pattern wide open.
Well, they've been the last 5 times in a row they blitzed on first down, so we ran a crossing route out there, expecting man coverage.
The drive would stall, and the defense would get back on the field, but they had certainly turned it around in the second quarter, and it continued into the third quarter. The sack by Scott Latsky.
Defensive players are doing what they were taught to do, and when that happens, good things happen for them.
Nice run by Nate Bobeck. He picks up 8. That was the first play after the punt, and then you finally get the lead, and the nice option by Nick Browder. And look at that move at the 30. And again, Scott Heinrichs with the great block downfield. Harold Jackson with the pancake as well downfield, Coach.
And we like to see those pancakes. Eric Radbro, our center, gets a pancake too. Of course, we won't see it on the tape here, but he got a decleater, like Coach Max likes to call those decleaters.
Extra point made it 28-22. Defense on the field continues to play well. Nice play, Chris Helton again, who seemed to be all over the place.
Chris, very, very good game. His first outing as a starter for VU. He did a great job filling in. Tom Cunningham, of course, all-conference player, leading sacker in the conference, graduated.
The fake to the fullback and the pop pass play used a few times to the tight end. Saw right there.
Yeah, they were coming hard on, trying to stop the option and left the tight end open.
A rare mistake by Nick Browder, and it would prove costly, Coach.
They get a touchdown off this one on the second play after, which you will see right now. They fake a bootleg, or fake a toss sweep and run a bootleg pass, and we lose contain.
Seemed like Bulio was most effective running football.
Yeah, he's a competitor. Good passer, not a great passer, but was very efficient in their offense.
We're going to see a penalty here, which pushes them, and this is real crucial. It's 28 all here, and they're going for 2. So the penalty, and now looks good. They got to go back to the 8-yard line and try to get the 2 points in. But again, it's Bulio running with the football, not throwing.
So we're leaving our pass rush lanes wide open there. And gave them a wide open seam up the middle and walk in the end zone.
So now, after the Crusaders had scored 28 straight, Cougars suddenly in front, and Ozzie Young gives you great field position. Finally got a chance.
Finally kicked the ball deep to Oz, and we set up a left return. There's a nice wall, and their safety guy makes the play. If he doesn't, he's gone.
Nearly out to midfield. 3rd and 5, the pass to the flat, and we see Ozzie sneak out here. Nice catch, and he gets the first down.
A great job by Nick. They blitzed right into him. He was hit just as he threw it, but Nick's a smart quarterback. He threw right back in where the blitz came from, and we got the first down.
It's the field goal you were talking about, and boy, it was close. That would have put you in front.
Yeah, our holders, they went right over the top of the upright, so it was a good kick for the freshman.
So St. Xavier stays out in front, and the defense knows they need to do the job. Good play by Josh Burnick, stopping the sweep. Next play, we're going to see a real nice play. Harrington, the block, actually might have touched Scott Latsky first. See right there, and then Harrington, the block, and Bulio actually caught the pass and helped the Crusaders out.
That's as good as a sack. He should have knocked the ball down, then it would have been a complete pass.
Right on to the 4th quarter. Nick on the option. The late pitch to Oz. Probably should have kept it that time, right?
Yes, Nick and I talked about that already.
Crusaders moving down for what would be the game-winning touchdown drive. Here's a great run by Nate Bobek.
Just bouncing off would-be tacklers, and give the line credit. They blitzed right into our trap play, and they opened up a seam for them.
Talked about that pop pass, and when the fullback's running successfully, that pop pass to the tight end is going to be up because linebackers are cheating up, I assume.
Right, and their defensive people kept coming out off the field and saying to our players, who's got the ball in the option. So if they're worried about where the ball is on option, they're not covering the tight end either. 4th
and 4, good job by the offensive line, I thought, on this play. Gave Nick a lot of time, and then he saw the opening. And that was Scott Heydrichs blocking downfield again, the big block.
Took care of 2 guys on that block, Todd.
Got all the way down to the 4, and on the next play, Ozzie's going to make his 4th touchdown of the game. Nice cutback there.
Beautiful blocking. There's Fitz in the end zone with his hand up in the air. I think he knew we scored. Ozzie tied a school record there with his 4th touchdown.
And a conference record as well. You go for 2, and nearly got it. Great defense play. That was Maurice Davis. He played a nice game for him, their free safety coach.
He's a very, very good player.
Adam Zolvinsky, this turned out to be a big play. You see the pressure that Adam puts on, it causes a clip. And that was key because they were driving. And it turns out to be a major penalty.
And they end up with 3rd and 28, I think, and we give up 6 yards here on an outcut. Now, this is the kind of coverage we've been looking for.
Josh Burnick, nice play.
Excellent coverage. Give up 4 or 5 yards on 3rd and 28, no problem.
Okay, you'd give it back over. And again, they got a chance to score a touchdown and win this football game. Defense just doesn't let them. Saul Shaheed, Matt Culp, Josh Burdick all help out on that play against Coddington. And then on the bootleg, the play which just about seals it, John Harrington.
Makes the hit. Ball pops loose, and Matt Culp recovers a fumble for us.
How about the play of John Harrington on Saturday?
It was pretty good. John had a pretty good ball game. He was, the time that the quarterback went outside of his end there, he was not the contained person.
3:30 to go in the game, and you pick up a big first down. The boot pass to Scott Heinrichs, and that was a key play to keep the drive alive.
And Scotty's playing intelligence there with the clock running down, and us, the lady stays in bounds, doesn't go out of bounds.
About 2 minutes to go. Nick on the option. Sees that first down marker and gets it. And you'll just add an insurance touchdown 2 plays later, and again it was the pop pass to seal the victory.
Joe Jackson with a great route there, getting wide open.
Not much to that play, but the pop pass seems to be a play which, when the fullback's running the ball successfully, linebackers are almost forced to cheat up, I guess, right?
Right, and when the defense is on the field talking about who's got the ball when you run the option, they're looking for the football in the option game. They have no idea what's happening when play action pass then.
See, the extra point makes it 41-30, and there you saw the final score, and now we'll see the statistics, and we'll see, Coach, that the Crusaders really dominated. Even though it was a tight ball game throughout, they took advantage of some Crusader mistakes early, and every time they moved the ball, it seemed like they got the ball in the end zone early. And that's, as we take a look at the stats, we'll see that you piled up a lot more yards than they did. I mean, nearly doubled them in yardage, but it was pretty much a ball game, close one throughout. It was
close. Spotting somebody 22 points, they're going to be in the ball game until you score 5 touchdowns of your own. They're still in the ball game, and they were in it for the whole game, even though our defense did a great job after the first quarter shutting them off.
330 yards on the ground. I assume going in, Coach, you figured you could run the ball effectively on him. I think you rushed for 330 against him when you played him 2 years ago.
Well, that was something that was a little bit of a question mark going into the season. We knew we could throw the football coming out of 2-a-day camp. Running the football was something that we wanted to hopefully work on in this game, and we proved that we can do that, and it was a good confidence builder for our offensive line people.
All right, around the conference, we will see that it was a bad day for Butler, Coach. They ran into a pretty tough opponent, I guess, in Towson State, right?
Well, Towson State the last 2 seasons was 17-4, so that's a pretty solid Division I AA program.
And they've got a lot of scholarship kids.
Right. They're going non-scholarship, but they still have scholarship kids on the team, yes.
The Arnold Mickens watch. Boy, he hurt his average, only 138 yards.
Yeah, it was a rough day for him, I guess.
The Butler tailback who averaged 240 a year ago.
Yeah, and broke a string of, 8 games in a row, I think, with 200 yards or more.
There's the conference opener. Dayton and San Diego, and all Flyers there as they continue to roll on the home field.
Yeah, I think San Diego's going to struggle offensively for quite a while yet, replacing their quarterback, and then Rucker, who did not come back. They're a good tailback,
right.
Conference tailback.
Okay, elsewhere? That's an impressive win for Drake against a neighbor rival in St. Ambrose.
They shut them out 2 years in a row, 19-0 last year.
And Evansville off quickly to 2-0.
They beat Cumberland, the team that
lost 222-0.
Right. I think
back in like 1920. Yeah. I don't know how much better they are now. All right, around the conference, let's check those standings. Again, the only conference game, Dayton and San Diego. So you see Dayton on top and San Diego on the bottom. Elsewhere, again, the conference doing fairly well.
Good non-conference other than San Diego. Everybody's doing well non-conference.
All righty, so we got to find out why the Crusaders were able to rush the ball so effectively, Coach. And one of the big reasons had to be the offensive line, right?
Absolutely. Maybe we should have an offensive lineman on the show.
That'd be a good idea. Let's bring Evan Fitzgerald on in.
Okay.
Can we do that? Oh, there he is. Hey, what do you know? Evan Fitzgerald, the big offensive guard out of Madison, Wisconsin. And first off, congratulations on the win. And the coaches say you did pretty well. Evan, in particular, on Saturday, right?
Well, he graded out, I think, 95%?
Close, yeah. 96.
96. Sorry, Fitzy.
That's fine.
96%.
72 out of 75 plays, his blocking assignment was completed correctly, right? Which would be, that's a pretty strong percentage.
Well, we asked the offensive line to be 85%, so that's well above what we think is a solid performance for a game.
Evan, how about the offensive line? We know we've got a solid quarterback. We know a great running back. We know we've got some great receivers. I guess the only offensive question mark might be the offensive line. Your thoughts on the offensive line this year?
It was a big question mark coming into the season. I think the biggest improvement we've made is at the center position. We have a freshman filling in, and I was talking to him during the game, and I said it's a big difference for us to be able to change our blocking schemes to take advantage of his athletic ability, and it just really opened up a lot of options for us.
Eric Rodbrough, true freshman. He's out of Zion, Illinois. So he kind of keeps that contingent of those guys who live on the Illinois-Wisconsin border on the offensive side, right? Nick Browder, Ozzie Young, Eric Rodbrough. Obviously, you like what you've seen from him, right, Evan?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great player. He had a great game against St. Xavier. And I think as an offense line, we had a good game in general, and we're looking forward to this week. We're going to have a little different challenge. Whitewater's going to have a lot bigger defensive line, probably a lot better athletes, and hopefully we'll be able to take the momentum right into it.
All right, what was going on in those offensive huddles when it was 22-0, still in the first quarter? Was there composure there? What was taking place in those offensive huddles?
Everybody kept trying to remind each other that they hadn't really stopped us yet. First drive, we were moving the ball very effectively against them, and one penalty kind of stopped us from scoring a touchdown, and the next drive was just a fumble. And we kept trying to remind ourselves that we're a lot better than these guys. We're going to move the ball. We're going to put a lot of points on the board, and people did hold their composure pretty well, and I think that was why we tended to be successful on Saturday.
Coach, how about Evan's leadership on the offensive line? Obviously, that's something which is a big, big key.
Well, I think it's something that the offensive lineman looked to Evan for leadership, and he was obviously picked by his peers to be one of the team captains. So I think they look to him, and Evan does a great job. He's got good composure out there, good poise. He never gets rattled, and he makes good decisions and good choices, and people look to people like that for leadership.
Okay. Let's take a look at what's coming up on Saturday. Evan mentioned the big offense, the big defensive line that Whitewater possesses, and I know, Coach, Whitewater is a team which plays a very good competition. And you look at the teams they play, probably similar to the teams you play, and they have a very successful program too, right?
That conference is not a whole lot different than the conference we play in. It's very, very strong. Most of the schools in that league are 8,000 to 15,000 student enrollment. They get some great players out of the state of Wisconsin. They live off of transfer students who can go in and become eligible right away. They lost a great tailback last year and brought one in from St. Cloud State, Minnesota, just transferred right in for a scholarship player. So they didn't miss a beat. They got a lot of starters back from an 8-2 team last year. It was very, very good. So it'll be a big challenge for us on Saturday.
They also won their season opener, but it was a much different game than the game you played. You guys won 41-30. They won 6-3. So what can we expect on Saturday?
Well, I think that last Saturday's game for them and for the team they played Baldwin-Wallace was a situation where they were moving it a lot between the 20s. And once they got inside the 20s, something happened. A penalty, a turnover, something was always happening. One of those first game kinds of things for both teams. And that's why it was only 6-3, because both teams moved the ball fairly well.
How good is their defense? How big is their defense?
The other defense is huge. Melka, one of their defensive tackles, is 6'4", 285. His brother was a 3-year starter at Wisconsin at linebacker back in the early 80s. Very good player. Had 3 sacks last week in his first ball game. So their linebackers are both 6'4", about 235, and can run. They've got some big people that can run and play, and we've got to snap it up and be ready to go.
Evan, the offensive line going against a big defensive line. Now, you faced some big teams last year. The quick teams or the big teams? Which are the defenses which give the offensive line the most problems?
I think the big teams are going to give us a little more trouble because as an offensive line, I think we're a little smaller, but we'll tend to be quicker than the bigger teams, and we're going to have to use that to our advantage this week. I think that we'll have to be smart about where we're going. We're probably not going to be able to move their 280-pound tackles too far out of the way. Might have to, go a little more off tackle this week and use that to our advantage.
Will their linemen be able to catch Ozzie Young, though? That's the thing. If we can get him to the outside, maybe that would be a big key. Conference Player of the Week, great start for Oz, and I know he gives a lot of credit to the offensive line.
I think he's probably going to be the fastest guy in the field when we put our offense and their defense out there, and it showed this week. When he got the ball outside, there weren't too many people on St. Xavier's team who could take him one-on-one, and hopefully the same thing will happen this week. You just give him a hole, let him get by the line of scrimmage, and he makes great plays happen.
We'll keep our eye on that. Around the conference, busy schedule, Coach, and that's a good test for Butler going to Decatur, Illinois.
And Milliken, played us tough last year and has everybody back from last year's team. That'll be a very tough game for Butler.
Dayton, boy, hey, they never lose at home, but they may Saturday.
Well, they're playing Towson State, the team that just beat Butler.
Drake goes to Wisconsin Lacrosse, a school you know a little bit about.
I graduated from there. I got a couple degrees from that school at one time.
And Evansville tries to go 3-0 and may do it. That's Greenville out of Illinois, right?
Greenville, Illinois. Started football about 7 years ago. Had been a wishbone club, but I know the head coach that ran it is gone now, so I don't know what Greenville does anymore.
Okay, biggest key to the ball game on Saturday, in your opinion, Coach?
Execution. We have to execute. We have to do what we're taught to do as players, and as coaches this week, we're going to really get after them and harp really harder than we ever have on the little things. And maybe last area was our fault, but we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay, Crusaders are 1-0. Congrats goes out to Ozzie Young, the conference's Player of the Week, who also tied a school and conference record for touchdowns with 4 on Saturday. We thank Evan Fitzgerald. As always, we thank the coach. We thank you for tuning in. We'll see you same time, same place next week right here on Valparaiso University Football.